evening. The time is 6:30 p.m. The regular meeting of the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Freehold for September 2023 is now called to order. Notice of the time, date, and location of this meeting is provided at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of this meeting, pursuant to the provisions of Chapter 231, the laws of 1975, the Open Public Meetings Act. We ask everyone to please stand for a salute to the flag, followed by a moment of silence as we remember Jim Mancini, longtime Freehold Borough resident, former councilman who passed away last week, Frank Della Pietro, our attorney Matt Good's father-in-law who also passed away last week, and Carmela Mantuano, Councilman George Snur's mother-in-law who passed away yesterday. Chief Dispenza, please lead us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, please.
Mayor King.
Here.
Councilman DiBenedetto.
Here.
Councilwoman Jordan. Here. Councilman Reich.
Here.
Councilwoman Schulter. Councilman Schnarr.
Here.
Councilwoman Rogers.
Here.
Okay, item 4 this evening on our agenda is Freehold Borough Board of Education update. We have 2 distinguished guests with us this evening. I'd like to ask Dr. Rocco Tomazic, our interim superintendent, and we have Patrick Pizzano, the business administrator for school district. You want to take it over, Doctor?
Thank you. I had handouts for the public and for you. So our purpose in coming here this evening is to talk about, give a very short presentation on 3 very important points. The district's enrollment, the district's status with state aid, and the district's status with the tax levy. And for those 3 topics, we want to talk about what's been in the past, what it is now, and where possibly it may be going. This first slide that I put up goes all the way back to 2007 and gives the absolute number of students that were in the district on October 15th, with 2023 just being an estimate because we're not at October 15th yet. I have 2 arrows there. You see in 2010, that arrow denotes when our population got so large that we had to start moving classrooms out to Freehold Township and other locations. And the second green arrow in 2019 is when, after completing the renovations and additions, we were able to bring all of our students back. So I'm going to be referring back to this slide a number of times, but that's been our trend as of today. I also wanted to show the rise of bilingual and ESL students. Other than that little blip that occurred during the pandemic in 2020, you can see, if you eliminated that, there's been a steady rise in the number of bilingual and ESL students that we have to serve. And we validated this number also in a reverse way, where we looked at the percentage of our students going back to 2018 who were born in the United States or the territories. Back then it was about 93, 94% in that range, and as of today we're down to 86%. So this validates that we are in a situation where we're getting more students who need bilingual and ESL services. And I'll just make a quick distinction there. Bilingual means that your English ability is so rudimentary that you have to be taught in your native language so that while you're learning English, you're not falling behind in your subjects. ESL, English as a second language, is given to all students who are in the program, and that's where they're actually learning the English.
Sorry about that.
I did want to bring your attention to pending construction at the Park Avenue complex. This is, to set your mind, on the right side of the screen is Park Avenue. That complex will be added to the existing buildings. At the top of is the 5th grade wing, and at the bottom, the connection is that new technology section. So we'll have to remove the marquee sign, and it goes out towards the street. This project involves, we have some flexibility with how we set up the rooms because they have dividers, but it could have 7 full-size classrooms, 6 small group instructions, an office, and an IDF room. The key thing about this project is that we're paying for it with ESSER III federal COVID dollars. And we had to supplement a little bit with our existing capital reserve, but the bottom line to the town is there's no bonds issued and there's no referendum needed to do this addition. However, we have to build it quick because those ESSER III funds are running out. We won't be able to spend the money beyond September of 24. So that is why we have this bid out already. We have bid opening this Friday. We hope to approve it on our September 11th board meeting and put a shovel in the ground in October and build it fast so that we can encumber those federal funds as quickly as we can before that money expires. I also wanted to bring your attention to pre-kindergarten. We have in the state of New Jersey available to us, if we had the capacity, the room, to serve 90% of our universe of 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. That means the state is willing to give us funds to make sure that our 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds are in a full day, free, high quality pre-K program. We currently are only serving 33% of that universe, split by 53.3% 4-year-olds and 13.3% 3-year-olds. Even though the money is available to help with teacher costs and instructional materials, we can't use that preschool expansion aid money for facilities. So we have to have the classroom space to either do those classes in the district or to contract with somebody like Head Start, Acelera, which we do for 2 of our classes. So right today, we have 3 preschool disabled classrooms at Freehold Learning Center, 6 other pre-K classrooms at Freehold Learning Center, and we've contracted with 2 Head Start programs here in town. Obviously, if we were going to address 90% of our universe in both age groups, we need about 18 more classrooms. Whether the mix, it doesn't matter to the department, whether they're in the district or externally contracted, but we would get a lot of help from the department in that they would offset most of the teacher costs. So as far as the levy goes, even though we have some in-kind expenses, it's basically something that we could improve our educational programs, yet not significantly raise our expenses with the regular budget. School Funding Reform Act of 2008 is the law in New Jersey. It grows from the Constitution. The New Jersey State Constitution of 1947 said that all school children in New Jersey are entitled to a free, thorough, and efficient education. They passed this law to define what a thorough and efficient education means in terms of money. And they came up with a plan that's a mix of direct state aid and local tax levy. So obviously, if you're in a wealthy town, they're gonna pay more with the tax levy and get less state aid. If you're in a town that has more poverty, they're gonna have more of their money coming from the state and less coming from the local property base. So for Freehold Borough, if theoretically we were getting full state aid and theoretically we're taxing the levy at 100% of fair share, our mix would be 68.9% coming from the state and 31.1% coming from the tax levy. It's often asked, well, how do they figure this out? They do it annually, and they'll look to see the wealth of the town. They'll look at all the property wealth, they'll look at the income wealth, and they'll come up with a figure. And then they'll look at the types of students that we have, our number of students, how many of them are bilingual students, how many are special ed students, how many are in special programs, put that in a formula, and then they set what we should be spending to deliver a constitutionally guaranteed, thorough, and efficient education. And for this current year, that's $34,133,067. That's our thorough and efficient number. We're currently spending under that, $33,102,830, which means we're $1,030,000 under adequate currently. So state aid is determined every year by October 15th. We have to apply to the state for state aid. And this is where we give the count of how many types of students we have. Everybody in the state does it on the same day. Once you take that snapshot, it doesn't matter if you got 10 students the next day, it doesn't count. It's what you have on October 15th. So, for what we do October 15th here in 2023 is going to drive how much state aid we get in 24-25, or what we call fiscal year 25. Fiscal year 25 is the last year of S2 aid adjustments. So by next year, Freehold Borough should have its proper amount of state aid. Everybody should have their proper amount of state aid for whatever numbers are submitted on this October 15th count. So we should be fully funded. Currently, we're receiving 96.6% of the aid that we should be receiving from the state, which was immensely better than the 62%, which is what we were at when we started the S2 process. And so this has allowed us to, of course, reduce the levy from where it was. I'll get to that in another slide. So in the future, after next year, how much money we get from the state should go up and down depending on how many students we have and what types of students we have. And how much we get in aid versus how much we tax on the levy goes back and forth depending on the wealth of the town in property taxes and the wealth of the town in income. So for the tax levy, currently we're taxing the levy at 97% of levy fair share. It once was as high as 127%. So as S2 has brought about the readjustment of the state aid, we've been lowering the taxes from the borough K8. Now, conversely, to be fair, the Freehold Regional High School District was losing their state aid, and they've had to up the maximum that they could. So at the same time our taxpayers were seeing a reduction from the K8, they're also seeing a rise with the high school. But for the K8 district, this is where we are at. The second bullet there talks about something called bank cap. So every year under the law, the Board of Education has the ability, if they choose, to raise the levy 2%. If it chose not to raise the levy 2%, they can take that money and bank it. It's not really banked. It doesn't mean it's real money. It's just the ability to tax to that amount is saved for 3 years. So in our current situation, we have over $1 million saved that we haven't used yet, and it's broken out by the next fiscal years. If in fiscal year 25 we don't use that $260,000 that we could tax to, it goes away. So this represents really in fiscal year 25 and 26, that represents the 2% that we didn't raise the local levy, as we were making it come down from 127%. The reason that fiscal year 27 is so high, even though we actually did increase the taxes this year, but the state had allowed us $674,000 because the cost of health care went sky high. So we didn't use that, but we were allowed to bank it if we needed it in the future. Our district has just completed a strategic 5-year plan. And one of the features of that 5-year plan is a commitment by the board to make sure that the tax levy stays at fair share. So if next year we're going to get to 100%, even if we have to go into that bank cap, we're going to be where SFRA says we should be at levy fair share, just like the state is finally going to be at full funding if they keep their promises as well. This pie graph, I just want you to see how much of our budget is salaries and wages. So if we're talking about, hey, you ought to cut some money, you're really talking about you're cutting some people. Everything else is in the yellow, but salaries and benefits are the lion's share of what we spend our money on. So we have some challenges. As I said before, we want to build that Park Avenue addition as fast as we can before the expiring federal funds go away. We want to expand our pre-K program using state funds as much as possible, whether that means we do it internally or externally. We want to stay at levy fair share and operate the district per the SFRA formula. That means spend at adequacy. That way we can deliver a thorough, efficient education, not be over and not be under. And this fourth bullet is one of the reasons we come here is we have to try and anticipate our enrollment growth so that we always have the space to serve the students that are in the borough. We don't want to ever get to the point where we have to send our students out to other districts because we're overcrowded. So we know that there was new apartments authorized, I believe on that property on the corner of Park Avenue and Main. And we know that there's a plan for downtown with added apartments. So our question, a very key question, is how many students are going to come from that? Because as you know, we have a fixed amount of space. Yes, we should be able to have this Park Avenue addition ready with those 7 classrooms. But it's a real question as to how many students will come from that construction. But we want to have the classroom ready beforehand. The second sub-bullet there is what we call our invisible growth. I think when you saw the original slide of the growth in Frio Borough, where we went from really in a very short period of time, we gained 450 students. And maybe during that time, if we built 10 houses in the borough, that would be it. So the question becomes, where are all those students coming from? We can't really pass an opinion on it at the school district. We have to educate whoever is a resident of this town, period. That's our job. But when we combine with known growth and combine it with invisible growth, you could see why we're getting a little nervous sometimes that we don't want to get to the point that we can't service all the students. Thirdly, we always have to be ready for anything that might happen. Should St. Rose close, they have students that live in the borough. We don't know exactly how many, but we are allowed to know how many students in in St. Rose are on a free and reduced lunch because we're the pass-through of the Title I money to St. Rose. So we know that there's 24 students last year who were on a free and reduced lunch and were going to St. Rose who lived in the borough. So there's 24 students. So I don't know how many were predicted for the corner of Main and Park. Whatever that number is, plus I'm told 25 from the downtown development, maybe 24 there, and the invisible growth, then we could easily eat up that Park Avenue addition very quickly. So my hope would be, as we continue to coordinate closely with you on our common goals, that if there is some major building going on in town, then obviously the developer, maybe you can shake the developer down for the money that it's going to take to add to the school district. We don't care if we're bigger. We just don't want to be overcrowded. So the reason we came tonight is I wanted to present myself to questions. Patrick Mazzano's here, our business administrator. He can answer questions. And I just want to kick it over to that and see what may be on your mind after seeing this presentation. And we just wanted to make ourselves available.
Thank you. We'll start up here with council. Anybody, council, have any questions for Dr. Mazzano?
I just want to say thank you for coming out tonight and explaining this. Having been a past member of the Board of Education, I understood a lot what was going on, but I think there are people in the community who do not understand how this tax is levied, how the numbers are arrived at. So I appreciate you coming out tonight and breaking it down for us and giving us information so that we can be educated on how these things come about. So thank you, Dr.
Dr. Mazik, it's good to see you again. A question regarding the banked cap. So portions of the banked cap expire each year depending upon which year that it was authorized to be banked.
Correct.
And you can take some or all of that banked cap before it expires.
Yes.
Can you take banked cap from all multiple years?
Yes.
So there's over $1 million here in banked cap.
The board could, by its vote, use that $1 million. Just like it has the authority to raise taxes 2%, it could also pull all of that money as well.
And when the tax levy goes over that cap, is there an approval process for that, a state approval process for that?
If we wanted more money than was available in bank cap, and then we'd have to.
But if you're just using the bank cap, it's just part of the normal.
If we needed more money, we'd have to run for a vote.
But you're looking to hold on to that cap as long as possible.
Well,
Is there a need for it regarding the school construction or anything like that?
that's not the construction that we have. We already have the money in capital reserve, and if we use the federal funds, there will be no impact because of that new addition on the operating money. Our goal is to stay at adequacy. So our goal next year is to get up to 100% of what the state says we should be taxing the levy and stay there. And if that means some of that cap expires, then that'll be so be it. If it means that we have to dip into it to bring it up to what it is, then that's what it's there for.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Actually, good to see you too.
So, I'm sorry, Doctor. So, looking at this, is when I get this straight, you're going to be able to expand facilities at PAA and enhance programs for our children in the district without putting a burden on the taxpayers.
That's correct. The only burden on the taxpayers is the burden that's assigned to the taxpayers by the SFRA Act, which is based on variables of wealth. I've often heard that the too many students are driving the tax rate up, but that's not really true. In the sense that we get extra money from in-state aid for the bilingual students, for the special ed students. That comes in as part of that 68%. If in fact, there was a concerted effort to somehow deal with the invisible growth, because we only ended up with one family living in one house in Freel Borough, and anybody extra was not here. Then it would really get back to, well, what's the wealth of the town? Because as those students disappeared and went someplace, now we're not presenting to the state as much need as we did previously. Your taxes might actually go up as a percentage of the whole. You might look more like Freehold Township, which is not 68-31. They're picking up far more on their wealth. Years ago, it was a town like Holtzneck didn't care if they froze state aid. They were getting 2%. They were just taxing their wealth. So there are things that the state is contributing because of some of the poverty level of our students. And if we went back to just being a typical suburban town, I suspect our levy percent would be more.
And as for the redevelopment that you spoke about, having four former school board members up here, we're aware of that. And on our redevelopment committee itself, we do have presence from the school board on that committee, as well as a person that represents the Ed Foundation as well. So we are aware of that, and I think I shared with you too the report from Rutgers that talks about the impact of the school districts, and we discussed that at length. So if you want to discuss it more, we can do that as well.
Yes, I appreciate it, you sending me that. I think most school districts follow a live birth cohort survival rate demographic method. They see how many live births were in town, and they put a factor that they would lose over the years, and they would project accurately what the needs are in the school district. We've done those demographic studies. They've always fallen short of actual growth, because we have this other growth that isn't captured in the cohort reduction rate method. So I think that even if the Rutgers study on a hypothetical development like what we had, probably they could statistically quantify that, but we have something different going on here that I think that just so that we never get to the point of being overcrowded again, takes extra attention.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and that's what we're doing. But at the same point, the type of developer that we're bringing in doesn't bring that type. What we were just talking about, it doesn't bring that type of with a lot of kids and all that kind of stuff. It's more of an upscale, retirees, people that are downsizing, just want to remain in their community, aging out. Basically, they're aging out in their community, that kind of stuff. But it's always good to see you, and I appreciate you coming in and talking to us. Thank you.
I don't have a question, but I have a statement. I just want everybody in the audience who may not be aware that Dr. Tomasic was our superintendent for the years when we were facing such a horrible crisis in funding, lack of state funding. He's the one who mobilized us and led us to Trenton. I have to say he wasn't probably always thrilled with what some of us said there, but he was the motivation there and stuck with it until, in fact, we got our fair funding. So, and then he retired, and Dr. Howell took over, and now Dr. Howell has accepted employment at Rutgers, and so Dr. Tomasic is back serving as the interim. So, you aren't an interim to us. We really like having you.
Well, it was a good opportunity to refresh myself on where we're at, and a good chance to come to the council, share my knowledge, because there'll be a permanent superintendent very shortly, and it was a good point to not only share, but to see if there are any questions with Patrick and I in the dealings of the money as related to enrollment, state aid, and taxes.
We also have some Board of Education members here. I see two of them in the back. Any others?
See Paul and Joe.
Paul. Paul's here?
Paul
Paul
Zernick.
Paul Jensen. I'm Paul Jensen.
And Joe Santos.
And Joe Santa Lucito over here. So we thank you for coming in and for everything you do.
And when are the kids coming? Thursday?
Thursday.
Good luck.
And I might point out, even though there's a heat wave going on, once we had our facilities in 2018, we're fully air conditioned, so we don't have to deal with half days because the heat's driving people out.
Regarding the construction projects, which I always like to see construction projects at school, but I remember when the tech space was built. Is the tech space no longer needed because the technology is now in the classroom and there's not a need for a central location for the tech?
That's correct. Superintendent Califax, that was her introduction into the new century. And back in those days, technology was a bunch of computers in a room and they were hardwired. Once we got to the point where we had laptops and Chromebooks and wireless pickup points and everything's in the classroom, to have a room that is totally dedicated to technology was not needed any longer. So we repurposed that room and probably left the plaque on the wall.
Those are going to be the small room construction rooms?
Well, they have some movable, so if we needed more small group instruction, we
Okay.
could split some of the big rooms into small groups. But if we needed more big rooms, we could just pull the walls back and we would have more big rooms.
Excellent.
But I'll just give you 3 scenarios that might occur depending on what happens in 2 years. So when that space is ready, if we got a blast of kids, then maybe that just expands across the board. Possibly, let's say everything stayed the same, then maybe we could lower the class sizes at Freehold Intermediate School, which are slightly above the state standard. Standard for intermediate school of our type of district is 24 per class. Some of our classes are 25, 26. If we added an extra pathway, they could go down. Or we still have the ability to move some or all of the second grade into that space and therefore move the kindergarten classes that are in the new wing at the Learning Center onto the floor and then open up all those pre-K classrooms because they have the toilet facilities and we could serve more of our universe. So whether we expand or contract or stay the same, there's a plan and a need for that space.
Excellent. Thank you.
Thanks, anybody else? Thank you very much. Just take a few questions from the public. Anybody from the public? That's a question. Okay, I don't see anybody, so thank you very much. It's always great to see you guys. We really appreciate you coming in. Appreciate it. Pretty update. Thank you.
So, thank you, Dr. Mazza.
Thank you. Thank you.
So when Dr. Tomasi called me and asked me if I could get him on the agenda for the meeting, and then he called me back to confirm that, when I confirmed that he was on the agenda, and he started talking about the technology, and, well, do you have this available? Do you have that available? Well, you see Lori laughing down here. I had no clue what the man was talking about. So I said to him, you know what? You're going to have to call the clerk and ask the clerk. So I'm glad it worked out.
Yes, the clerk is on. Thank you. Item 5 this evening is approval of minutes, council meeting August 21st, 2023.
I offer that.
I'll second it, please.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Abstain.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schnur?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Minutes of meeting for August 21st, 2023 are approved. Item 6 is the second reading and public hearing. Ordinance 2023/22, amending and supplementing Chapter 10, Vehicles and Traffic. Before I open up to the public, council, there's one small adjustment.
Yes, just 2. One is a redundant paragraph that just deleted 4 Three Hills Road. I'd like to ask a question. Handicapped individuals have to pay for parking, yet disabled veterans do not. Why is that?
State statute.
State statute? Why is there a 3-hour limit on the street parking during the day when we're supposed to be encouraging people to come do business here, go out for lunch, grab coffee, whatever, but yet they have to get out of there in 3 hours?
Well, that's not a good question, I'm sorry.
I can answer that.
Okay.
Because the business community felt that one of the advantages of having paid parking was for faster turnover.
And additionally too, if someone's going to be coming downtown for business and they thought they were going to be longer than 3 hours, they could either park in one of the paid lots like the Market Yard, the Yakin lot, or the Burlington Plaza, or park in one of the free lots like the Lafayette Street lot or the lot behind CVS. So they don't necessarily have to park downtown in 3-hour limited lots, 3-hour limited parking spots. They could park just outside that area and not be going downtown.
And was signage different on those meters so that they know you're parking on the street 3 hours?
I think it's, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's on the zone.
That's correct.
Which is the metered parking spots.
Yes.
So what if they do it through the app? Can't they just put their license plate back in and do a fresh new?
I think the app might have a limitation as to how long you can extend the time.
No, you wouldn't extend it.
I don't know if you can.
It's limited, you're limited to 3 hours initially. If you're to leave and come back, you can get another 3 hours. You could probably work around it if you wanted to have a new commitment, but the officers will be watching for stuff like that as well.
And the theory was that people who are parking on Main Street, they're either running in for lunch or they're running in for pickup, at the restaurants or something like that. Someone who's going to be coming longer to stay for an event and dinner or something downtown or dinner would be parking at one of the lots where there's no time limit or one of the.
Well, yeah, you have to find there's no time limit.
Actually, the lots are no time limit whatsoever.
Right.
So for instance, you could, if you wanted to, come to the Market Yard, be at the Market Yard at 9 a.m., start paying for meter parking for paid parking at 11 a.m., and you could potentially pay for as long as you wanted to until 3 o'clock in the morning, and you could be in that parking spot the entire time.
But on the street, it says from 5 to 3 a.m., there's no time limit.
Correct.
Okay, right. But I'm just thinking about someone that may come, all right, pick a Friday. They're coming to the farmer's market, they're gonna go to the farmer's market. Then they wanna go grab a cup of coffee. All right, now they have a hair appointment, then they're gonna go out to lunch.
So then I would assume that
That
person.
could exceed 3 hours.
I agree, and I would assume that person would probably pick a spot that's not time limited by 3 hours, or one of the lots that are free all day.
Okay, and that's my other question about signage.
And the results is really the important thing. Okay? I came down Main Street today, and I actually saw spots that were available. I haven't seen that in quite some time at 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
I'm very confused about the whole resident parking. People that residing above the businesses on Main and South Street. Now, I have a resident parking pass for my street because we have stupid signs up there. So, do they have to pay for a permit? Or do they get the same permit as me and they just have to park in that yellow spot?
I'm going to refer to our business administrator.
At the present time, there's no change in the permit program as it exists now. Some people who live above some of the businesses have what is a business or employee parking permit, and we're going to accept those through the end of the year, but we're working on rejiggering the entire resident permit process. We're also, as part of this ordinance, making a number of streets in the vicinity of downtown resident only so that those people don't get blocked out of parking on their own streets by people seeking free space.
Right, but right now, if I go to the town website, there is, business
Right.
parking, business employee, and commuter, where you have to pay fee.
Right,
Resident is free.
that's correct.
So then someone living above the business as a renter
Those
is parking for free.
that resident permit is for areas like yours where there's an ordinance that is restricted parking. In certain areas around town, there is restricted parking due to conditions that no longer exist. Around the area surrounding the racetrack, for example, they don't get the crowds that they used to. So there aren't people hunting for spots on the street. So that's something
I know,
we should revisit.
You can take those signs down,
We
I
will.
asked twice.
Yeah, we will.
Okay, but again, a person living above the business, right now,
If they have a permit now, they can continue to use it through the end of the year.
but is it paid?
I don't know what it is right now. I mean, my understanding is that they bought those permits as part of a business permit.
But they could just be renting and not paying.
No, if they have a permit, they paid for it.
Okay, so you're just charging them the business fee then?
That's correct. Yeah.
All right.
Up to now, and then we'll have a new permit program coming in the new year.
Okay, because there's nothing that states that there's a paid resident parking fee.
That's correct.
On the webpage.
Yeah, that's correct, because there isn't yet.
Okay.
Some people bought annual permits, and we didn't want to change it in the middle of the year.
Okay. Chief, I have a question for you. Jeff Friedman stated on Facebook that people can continue to use the fire zone behind the fence to pick up their takeout orders. Is that true, and will that free parking in fire zones apply to all the fire zones in town?
I have to get back here with
That's
that.
a question, but I want to lay it out. There's people that park behind feds to get takeout.
That run in to get ticket. Here, you're looking at one.
Yeah, I know. So now you have people back there giving out tickets. Are they going to get ticketed for parking in a fire zone? Or can people do that all over town? Because someone running in for takeout hasn't been considered here. We don't have an area for curbside pickup.
I understand what you're saying.
Right. So
I'm
I
not
just
the-
want to.
All right. I would have to defer to the business administrator. To be honest with you, this project was handed over to Captain Steppen, who isn't here. We also have a parking enforcement, or what's the title of that? Authority. So what, my opinion, as the chief of police, no, I wouldn't endorse that. People running in and grabbing their pie.
Can I
get ticketed.
I don't park. Every Friday night I go to Feds, and every night and night they give me a number and they say you're number 2, you're number whatever. I pull up the kid out there who starts playing basketball. He says, "What's your number?" And I say it's 3. He goes in, hands me my pizza. I go, I don't park.
No, but people do park and they run into Sweet Lou's. They run into Sweet Lou's and they can run into,
You just
or-
asked about Feds.
I just know, but no, that's
Said
parking
Feds.
zones behind
You said
Feds.
Feds. So I pull up the Feds.
I'm saying
get my
parking
car,
zone behind
and then-
Feds. But you can run into multiple places right there. So that's what I'm wondering. Like, these are things that should be considered. So,
There is a consideration for people who are parking to do pick up food. Because the fact that the parking meters can go down to a 5-cent coin.
3 minutes for a nickel.
Yeah, so you could put in for a couple of minutes just to run and come out. Regarding parking in fire zones, I mean, it's against the law, I mean, it's a fire zone. So, but you have to also understand too, that part of this is, we also have to figure out what is working and where. And the nice thing about this is that we have the ability to start to tailor this to make it work the way that the residents and the visitors to the borough use the parking meters. If we have an issue, we can review that issue both with our parking authority, mayor and council, and the police, and we can look and see where things need to be adjusted in order to make it work better. We had to get something in place right now, and there are some small things that we're probably gonna revisit going forward. But that, we have to see how it works first before we can make changes.
Well, I'm just saying, take out parking spots, limited time, it should be a consideration.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, it is, as Councilman Rice said, this is in the state of becoming. We expect that there will be opinions, comments, needs that will be brought to our attention, and we'll adapt the program as needed to meet the needs of the citizens and the businesses. But we're going slowly, we're changing incrementally. That's why the permit system isn't changing until next year. We want to get this off the ground so we can see where there are issues. If anybody has any issues, we'd love to hear about them so that we can get them fixed.
Okay, one last question. At the last meeting, there was a gentleman that asked a question if he had to pay for parking to come here and conduct town business. I consider this meeting town business. You had said no.
Did you pay for parking time?
No.
No, and I won't pay for parking when I'm coming here for this, but I'm in a regular spot.
That's fine.
The answer is no.
So how does the meter person know I'm in here and not over at Trouble?
They'll be watching.
There's a new person out there right
Every
now.
town meeting?
It comes down to enforcement. Anything that's going on here during the day, you're gonna be able to come in without paying. Any meetings that go on, any committee members, there's gonna be a system in place to allow people to come in without paying to conduct business in here. The answer is still no.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Anyone else on this ordinance? This is public hearing for this ordinance.
Good evening, Ricky Gartz. Sharon, you pointed it out last year, so I might as well introduce myself that way. I'm running for mayor of Freehold Borough. I live at 24 Morris Street.
May I just say something? Just when you say that.
Public comments.
No, I just want to say something real quick. When we're here, in this meeting, we are doing the business of the people. We are not politicking, we are not campaigning, we are not talking about running for
Sharon brought it
office.
up.
That's fine, but I'm
I'm
just
just
saying it
reiterating.
now. We are not, we are doing the business of the people of Freehold Borough.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It was brought up by your council.
Okay, and you brought it up first, that's why.
All right, all right.
I never brought
What's
it
the
up.
question?
Thank you. Excuse me?
What's the question? Come on.
I'm not talking to you. Listen.
What's your question?
I have a couple of questions regarding your fees. You have blocked out all the fees for the market yard parking area, Court and Broad Street, the residents at 180 and non-residents at 300. So there's no parking permit fees there, but you have a thing in here for lost permits that will be replaced upon $5. So I don't understand, we're not using permits, why would we have something in there for lost permits?
We are using permits.
Well,
Right
that's all
now,
crossed
right now,
out.
the current permit process is in place. So if you have a business permit right now and you lose the business permit, you have to pay for the replacement.
Okay, thank you. So, Mr. Gallo just stipulated that you're going to continue that on for the rest of the year.
Correct.
But if you cross this out, if somebody's coming for the fourth quarter, you don't have a fee structure in place because you just eliminated it.
Well, so the fee structure is what's in place right now. So the fee structure for the 2023 year is what was put out in, I think it was December of 2022 for the permit parking.
Right.
2023. Prior to 2024, when we're looking for a new permit, we're looking at a new permit process, we'll have a new fee structure that will come out.
Is this ordinance going to take place tonight?
Yes.
So you just wiped out those fees, is what I'm saying. You crossed them out, they're not part of the ordinance. So what are you going to do for the fourth quarter?
What's currently in place.
You're eliminating, that's what I'm telling you, by adopting this ordinance. You have it crossed out. So what are you gonna do with the fourth quarter? You don't have a statute to be able to charge somebody if you're wiping this out.
One moment, please.
10.24.080 fees. 10.080 fees. So I understand the concept of why you're leaving the lost permit fee in there. But once you wipe out all those other fees, how are you charging anybody for the fourth quarter if you decide to pay more? Because the ordinance doesn't have an issue.
It was my understanding we were redo, I'm sorry, for a second. It was my understanding we were redoing the permit fee structure at the end of the year.
That's correct, yes. I don't have that section in the ordinance that applies. Yeah.
Well, this is what was on the website, and this is where I got it from. So, if that's not correct, then I don't have the correct information to give this meeting.
So, Council, correct me if I'm wrong, but what we have in front of us, which is the amendment to the ordinance, anything that's in here is being changed, anything that's not in here is remaining as is.
Correct.
The ordinance that we have before us tonight does not have that section as part of it being changed in the ordinance.
Well, that doesn't do the public any good if that's something that's on the public website. That's
In
where I got it from.
on the agenda and the calendar,
If it's not being changed, then it's what's on the website and it's correct.
no,
Well, it is being changed, it's already wiped out, is what I'm saying.
It's not being changed.
are you referring to the agenda that's on the packet of information that's on the calendar for tonight's meeting? Or are you talking about the ordinance?
That's the ordinance. That's what you said.
Right, but only a portion of the ordinance is being modified, not.
But this is the ordinance that you have in front of you, that you're going to adopt tonight. It's 28, 26.
No, we're adopting amendments.
Well, this is what's, the amendments are in here, they're underlined and struck out.
Yeah, see? So, I don't know where this came from, this is not what we have for tonight. However, I can tell you that this was a previous iteration.
So can I see what you have? I know what I'm talking about. Thank you. Okay, so with that in mind then, if you're not changing what's in here, you already wiped it out. It's not in the ordinance. If this is the old ordinance, it's already been wiped out. So how are you able to charge somebody?
What was that date?
I don't know what the date is. This is the ordinance I was given. It's on your website. It says 2023/22, which is supposed to be up for adoption tonight. That's what I'm going by.
You're referencing this? Is that what you're referencing?
No.
10.24.
Yes, that was not,
So it's all completely still Xed out.
well, no, I mean, what I'm saying is,
Are those
It's
fees in place
modification.
for the ordinance or aren't
Yes.
they? They are.
yes. I don't know where that, I even went up on the website now and downloaded the agenda, I don't know where that came from.
Okay, thank you. So the other question I had is on the fees that are being charged, where you're charging the $1 and the $2. Is that part of the ordinance tonight? Or is that already in place as well?
It's also already in place.
It's already in place. So that part of this ordinance that I have in front is correct, but the other part isn't. Just like it. Okay. I thank you for your time. Appreciate the right information.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any other questions for this ordinance?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to clarify that the ordinance that you have is the one that's on the website. It's exactly the same.
The ordinance that we have,
Yes.
Well, I'm sorry, I downloaded
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schnurr?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, public portion is closed. We have a resolution adopting ordinance 2023/22 on authorization of publication.
I'll move that.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schnurr?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Ordinance 2023/22 is adopted. Item 7 is the first reading and introduction ordinance 2023/23, amending and supplementing Chapter 3 Revenue and Finance of the Code of the Borough of Freehold pertaining to transfer and user taxes on sale, transfer of medical cannabis. Would like to move that?
I'll move that.
I'll second.
Okay, sorry, second, discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schnurr?
Yes.
Schuster?
No.
Okay, ordinance 2023/23 is introduced. Item 8 this evening is our consent agenda. Just a note that matters listed under the items of consent agenda are required to conduct the day-to-day operations of the borough and will be enacted by one motion in the form listed below. There'll be no separate discussion of these items. Discussion if desired of any items, that item will be considered separately. Someone would like to move consent agenda items CR1 through CR3?
I'll move that.
Second?
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schnurr?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, consent agenda items CR1, CR2, and CR3 are adopted. And our consent agenda item 9 is the approval of bills.
I'll move that.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schnurr?
Yes.
Schuster?
Yes.
Okay, our bill list is approved. Item 10 are public comments. If anybody would care to make a comment to the governing body, please step forward, state your name and address for the record.
Christine, Westwood Street. I'd like to give my condolences to Matt and to George. Well, on August 23rd, which was a Wednesday, I experienced something in town that I never want to experience again. I have a wonderful 88-year-old neighbor who was worried that I was lying dead on the kitchen floor or something like that. Even though I told her what my plans were, et cetera, I want to keep this brief because everyone's been talking a lot. So, what she did, she called the police, and I was gone all day that day, from 7:25 in the morning until 4 to 5 in the afternoon. And when I got home, I saw that one of my chairs on the porch had been moved away from the window. And as I went up the driveway, I saw my 2 yellow recycling cans away from the kitchen window, and my screen was off the window. Then I looked for my chair, which my wonderful neighbor Ronnie had given me several years ago. It was missing. And I looked behind the mudroom, which is where I usually go in to enter my house, and the screen was off there, and the chair looked like it had been used for someone to climb in the house. I went inside, and yes, I know I've been chided many times about not carrying a phone with me, but that's my own decision. I went in the kitchen, I called 462-1234, and all I got was a recording
called the town. She does not know who she spoke to. It was the 17th in the morning. They did send animal control out to the location. Animal control did come. It was 2 women. She does not know the names of the 2 women of the Western Animal Control officers. She had 4 kittens in a box. 4 of them. They were eating food on their own. They didn't need their mother. Animal control, their job is to pick up, not to give vet, medical care, advice. Their job is almost like an ambulance, to pick up. 2 women showed up. They were advised and instructed to take the box of kittens and to put them exactly back where they were found at this business. On August 21st, I received a phone call about the kittens. I advised her to what Mr. Mayor, you told me to do, call the town, have the town dispatch animal control, let animal control pick up, let them do what they're supposed to. That was done. She spoke to a town official, which again, it's all documented, and I'm sure if you go back, you can see who it directly she spoke to. She stated that she had the kittens. She had the kittens in her possession. We have documented.
Claire, may I interrupt? Are we talking about this, Andrea, I'm sorry. Are we talking about the same kittens as the original? Or is this another incident?
This is all one incident.
Okay.
This is on different days.
Okay, that's what I
Yeah,
wanted
this
to-
all started on August 17th.
Okay.
Animal control was dispatched.
Different days, same.
Same situation, so it was never fixed on the day that it was called, correct. So this was August 17th, August 21st, animal control was called again, the town was called again first. Town was called, animal control was called. There was 4 kittens on August 17th. Due to, here's pictures, you want to pass that around? Due to animal control, the 2 women coming on the 17th and was instructed to put the kittens back. We did get the 3 kittens, but there was 1 kitten that was torn to shreds. 1 paw was here, a couple of inches away, another paw, and the tail was about maybe a 1.5 to 2 feet away. This could have been prevented if animal control came and did what they were supposed to do. Their job again, kittens, call town, have the town dispatch, animal control come, pick them up. Because they weren't picked up on the 17th, this is what happened. We did get the 3 kittens. We did call the town. She waited, the specific person waited till 5:30 for animal control. Animal control never showed up. She couldn't bring them home. She has a dog, she has cats, and she lives not in a borough, she just works here. And again, she was doing this all while she was working because there is a problem on Throckmorton with dog cats. She called a bunch of rescues. She found somebody who rescued to take the 3 kittens in. They're safe and sound, but that 1 cat, that was the 1 kitten, that was the kitten's demise because of what happened on the 17th. And again, she spoke to a Freehold Borough, yes, about this, so they are aware of this specific situation. Also, this is also the same location. That's a mom cat with 6 kittens that animal control was aware about, wasn't picked up. She said it was somebody's cat. So, I have a cat now. I reached out to different rescues. Donna is here. She's a registered foster for rescues. She's fostering the mom, and she's fostering the 6 kittens, which the 6 kittens still need to get picked up by animal control. But as of right now, they didn't want to do instructed and what is supposed to be done. So she hasn't. Now, when we called the town, they did say there is a TNR program in place, which thank you very much for everybody for voting and trying to fix this problem in town. We appreciate it, and we appreciate you saying that there is a problem, because everybody knows there is. When we called, nobody's on the same page about anything about this TNR program. I called the SPCA specifically. They have no idea about a Freehold Borough TNR program. We tried to, that phone call with this person calling the town on the 17th and the 21st in regards to, there's more cats there. There's probably, I would say, 5 to 7 adults. 5 of them are females. They're 5 calicos. If anybody knows about calicos, they're always females. 100% they're always females. Those 5 cats now are going to start mating. So 5 times 5, if they survive, if they have 5 kittens, sometimes they have less, sometimes they have more. Let's do the math, that's 25 more cats than are living here. That's gonna happen in the spring season. So when we called, the person did say that their boss is complaining about the urine and the feces, which again, not everybody likes cats. We see both sides, but let's do something about it. When that phone call was placed, two to 3 days later, the health department was there. Now the person that is, the business is not feeding, there is a person there feeding. They don't speak English, strictly Spanish. I go there with my Google Translator. He's trying to feed the cats, and I was setting him up. I have a bunch of, what's the registration for colonies that I've been handing out to people. I think we already have 5 to 7 colonies registered as of right now, because I've been trying to educate and tell people what to do. 3 days later, after this phone call, the health department was at this person's house. He was intimidated, he was scared. He's not feeding no longer. Nobody needs to worry about him feeding, because he's scared and he's not going to. So now, me trying to work with this person, and I was going to help him fill it all out and register his colony and show him what to do, how to trap, educate him, only feed between this time, don't feed at night, everything we spoke about in the past. He's not going to feed anymore, so now these cats are dispersed, and now I have no way of helping him trap these cats, getting them fixed, because he got scared. The health department got to his house. He wasn't, we're giving time, and we're saying it's a slow process for the parking meters, but how come we're not giving the same respect to people in town, especially if they don't speak 100% English? How come we're not giving them the same respect and giving them time to sign up for this program? We all said it's going to be a slow transition. 3 days later, sending some of the health department now, and I get it, they're doing their job because the person complains saying that the boss doesn't like the urine and the feces, but she wasn't saying it to make a complaint. She was calling to try to help the kittens get picked up and to get this gentleman on board to start the TNR process. And I was going to help him with it because, again, I'm the face of this. I've been helping all the residents. I've been trying to educate. But giving them 3 days later and just sticking the health department on them wasn't cool, wasn't right. And we're giving the same respect to meters. Let's give the same respect to the people with the cats. I mean, it's only fair. The woman that left before that was here, I did give, she had to leave early, but this was another incident that just happened. This was on Boyd Street by the community freehold garden. This started and this was September 4th. Here's the phone conversation between me and her. That can be kept for the records, and these were the 2 kittens that jumped in her car while she was volunteering at the community garden. She called me, somebody gave her my number, that I do cat rescue. I instructed her to call the town. The town was closed. Told her to call the non-emergency number. She called the non-emergency number. up the street, one other kitten got hit by a car, ran off. She stated that they were somebody's cats. She didn't even assess them. How can you assess them and say that over the phone? You don't know what they look like. You don't know.
She meaning animal control?
Animal Control Colleen stated this over the phone. She stated that they were somebody's cats. Somebody must be feeding them. We don't pick up kittens. That's not what we do. We don't pick up kittens and we don't pick up cats. She specifically said. And the lady was like, one got hit by a car. She goes, we will not pick up the animals, the cats or the kittens, unless they are in distress, almost dying, she said. Distress, almost dying. And she said this before the past, I think when I spoke to everybody on the board about a year and a half ago. And if they're in distress, dying, or if they're injured. She said if we could go and try to find the kitten that got hit by a car, to call her back. But the other two kittens just put back where we found them. So then we then stated over the phone, well, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to knock on everybody's door and say who's feeding these cats? Boyd Street, First Street, that whole section is filled with cats. Filled. If you should drive there, probably at 7 o'clock or early in the morning, you can't drive down the street. You'll see them all over. She called. They went back and forth. Again, you could call her to get her story as well. And if they were being fed, and if they were someone's pets, they would be ear checked, meaning a colony caretaker would be taking care of them, and they're responsible for feeding them, spaying and neutering them. That's the whole program where we set up a colony caretaker. That wasn't the case here. They're kittens. They were freshly born. And if they're in the middle of the street looking for food, they jumped in the lady's car because she has animals. She opened up a can of food. They were right there. And the reason why she was out was because one got brushed in the car. So we did everything that was instructed to do by the council and by Mr. Mayor. Again, she said she wasn't coming to pick them up. And not only that, but a city official just hung up the phone on her. Just hung up. Totally unacceptable to be hanging up on residents. We then called back. We spoke to a couple people to try to get this done. Phone call was made, another phone call was made. We were told that Animal Control will be coming back to come pick up the kittens. She waited in her car on Sunday with the AC not on, 2 hours for Animal Control. She has a family at home. Sunday. She just went there to go volunteer at the community garden. She didn't expect to see all this. This is why we have services. This is why we have these resources. She waited 2 hours in the car with the cats in her car on the dashboard. Nobody came. She had to put them back. She put them right back. So now, and those two cats, I know you guys can't see it, but one's a calico, 100% female, and the other one was a female as well. Those two cats, let's do 2 times 5. If the litter survives, if they have more, if they have less, that's more cats out there now. Animal Control shouldn't be making these decisions. Their only job is to respond to an Animal Control call. They're supposed to be transported. Vets make that phone call. We have to be licensed with a shelter that has a license to bring them to. You pick up the animals, you pick up the kittens, you transport them to the licensed shelter. They make those calls, not Animal Control. And we shouldn't be waiting, and I did advise her to call back the non-emergency police number, which she did. And they stated that they already made the phone call to come back with the kittens, but they could not give it as an ETA, because they already made that phone call out. So we should also have in there somewhere that we need to respond within a certain amount of time. Not everybody has time. This is the last thing on people's list, especially on a Sunday with kids back to school, coming up, We shouldn't be having our residents wait more than an hour. And if it is more than an hour, we should be having situation, another animal control officer, I don't know her name, she's coming to the next meeting, she was hung up on as well. So this seems to be a pattern of animal control hanging up on residents. She couldn't come tonight, but like I said, she will be here for the next meeting, or if somebody wants to meet with her privately, but she's more than happy to explain her story. But it seems to be a pattern of hanging up with people, and this is not right, and it needs to get changed. And I really advise and suggest that we change animal control as soon as possible, because it's unacceptable, and Donna wants to.
So as Andrea said, I work with Andrea and other rescues doing fostering for, and the rescue doing fostering for cats and kittens. Many of them come out of this area. And Andrea said an awful lot, and I can't remember all the little things that I thought I was going to say because she only told me about this meeting today. But first of all, I've been here in the past, and we've talked about the TNR programs that were supposed to be set in place, and they are effective, and they do work, and Andrea was a great one to tell you how much, because she does a lot of the trapping and neutering in this area. But that has to continue. As far as animal control, though, which is the main thing that I'm here for, it is completely unacceptable that they say, put them back, that they make any determination about whether they're owned or not. If the dog is running down the street and you call animal control, they come and get the dog, they don't say, oh, it must be owned, leave it alone. A cat there with kittens clearly is not owned, but nonetheless, why are they entitled to say that? But for animal control to not do their job, and I was just looking around at the New Jersey law regarding animal cruelty, and that is, like I said, I would have had this all printed out, except that I only got this last minute. 422-17, cruelty, certain acts, crimes, degrees. So my point being that it may not just be unacceptable what animal control did, but it may also be criminal, because it says in section C, I'm going to just make sure I'm reading. Okay. It shall be unlawful to purposely, knowingly, or recklessly, section 2, cause bodily injury to a living animal or creature by failing to provide the living animal or creature with necessary care, whether as the owner or as a person otherwise charged with the care of the living animal and creature. I submit to you that that is animal control's job, to provide that care. If they're just saying, leave it there, and the kittens are getting torn up, that's just unacceptable, and that is animal cruelty. That's all I really have to say for now, but I will say once again, if you don't think the people of New Jersey and Freehold love their animals, you're misguided. And people care about the feral cats. New York Times articles are written about this situation. People in New Jersey certainly care, and they do not like seeing kittens torn to bits or knowing about it happening because of an ineffective animal control system or entity that's employed.
And I just want to say too, there was another incident on Frogmore, and there was kittens. There was kittens there. We called animal control. The resident called animal control. They came, no problem. They picked up the kittens. I had a wonderful experience, and the resident did in that situation. They called. They found kittens. They called the town. Town dispatched animal control. Animal control came. There was no questions. They just looked at the kittens. They counted how many, and she took the kittens, no problem. Wonderful experience. So I'm not sure why. It depends on who's working, what day it is. We need something across the board where
They all need to do their job.
it needs to be set in stone. We need something written, not somebody telling me a policy over the phone how they're not going to pick up the kittens that day, because there was other calls where we had, I think there was 2 of them, one specifically at Throckmorton, all the way down, is a red brick building, apartment complex, I think 116 or something like that. The resident called, they came, they picked up, a wonderful experience. How come that animal control can do it and not others? It's just that we need something in writing, and we need change. We need change. So that's my only reason coming, just letting you know, be aware. And documentation, you guys can keep that because we have it on our own. But this is what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Andrew.
She said we could.
Oh, no, you guys can keep that. I think the board should have documentation like that.
Good evening, everyone. Jeff Friedman, 3 Broad Street. Here in my capacity of business advocate of the Freehold Center Management Corporation, executive director. I want to let you know, but I really want to let the public know as well. Tomorrow we kick off our fall concert series with the Eddie Testament Band. We got a great lineup this fall. We got 6 bands from September through October. We've got our Flavor of Freehold. We have two festivals. We have our Oktoberfest on October 1st, and our Food Truck Festival with United Way on October 22nd. So as always, as always, our farmers market's going through mid-October. So I just wanted to let the public and everyone out here know about all the events that are happening here in downtown Freehold, and we want everyone to come down and have a great time here, because there's always something going on downtown Freehold, and downtown Freehold and Freehold Borough is a great place to live, and we should all work to make our community the best we can.
Any further public comment? Seeing no comment, I'd like to entertain a motion to close the public portion.
So moved.
Second. Roll call, please.
Councilperson De Benedetto?
Yes.
Jordan?
Yes.
Reich?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Schnurr?
Yes.
Stetser?
Yeah.
Okay, item 11, council comments. Start off with Council President Benedetto.
Thank you all for coming out. I hope your Labor Day was enjoyable.
Thank you. Councilwoman Jordan.
Thank you. We're going to be having, we do have a signed contract for the Teen Art and Injury League. I wanted to get that phone number she talked about. Oh, I'll get it. I believe that we're going to have a town hall meeting on September 26th, I believe it is.
That's correct.
Here in council chambers, so people can learn more about the program, if they want to become involved, if they want to have any questions about the program answered, that'll be presented by the Monmouth County SPCA, and that time will be announced. As for the health department, if the health department is called and there's a neighbor, if there's a complaint, they have to come out and take care of that. They just can't ignore it. They have to come out and do that. Couple other things that we got going on, the Mayor's Wellness Committee. We have just partnered with Global Tasters. It's a program for children in 3rd to 12th grade. It's going to be all online, and they'll talk about healthy eating, teach them how to cook, do all that kind of stuff. They're going to be Mondays at 4:30 to 6 p.m. It's all going to be on Zoom. If you know of anybody who would like to partake in that, you can go online. There's a QR code on there, and you can have your child sign up. It's going to be an exciting program. Let's see, the Recreation Commission has a family fun day this Sunday at the park from 2 to 6 p.m. We're going to have some fishing demos. They're going to also have some fishing poles for the family. We're going to have some canoeing. We're going to have a scavenger hunt, some food. It's going to be a nice day. Just come on out. Everything's going to be free. That's the Freehold Borough Recreation. Also, I guess if you guys haven't seen it, it's been all over social media. The Freehold Borough Recreation Commission, along with some members of the community, are bringing back our basketball league. So if anybody's interested in signing that up, you can go onto our website and sign your child up. It's for grades 3 through 8. All the information is online, and it's going to be pretty exciting. We haven't had a Freehold Recreation basketball league in a long time. A lot of the residents were asking for it, and we're bringing it back. It's going to start mid-December, so look for that. Participatory budgeting. All of the project ideas are in, and on September 14th at 6:30 here in the council chamber, we will be holding our town hall, and all of the people that presented their ideas for this year's ballot will be about the project, so you can get a little bit more information about that. That evening, we'll start voting. Voting will go live online as well as paper ballots here, and we'll run that through September 24th. And then the announcements will be made at the first meeting in October, who the top 3 winners are. That's all I have. Thanks for coming out tonight. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Councilman Reich.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First, Chief Dispenza, can you please send my gratitude to Patrolman Owens and Patrolman Crawford for their assistance over the weekend? Certainly. The Human Relations Advisory Commission is having their September meeting this Thursday on the 7th. We are going to be starting to coordinate our holiday tour. This year we're looking to work with the public library as well as the Historic Preservation Commission and put together a historic building tour centering around the hopefully grand reopening of the library. So be on the lookout for some more information as we get closer to the holiday time. This coming Monday, September 11th, we will have our 22nd anniversary of the 9/11 Memorial at the Fieldboro Firehouse at 49 West Main Street. It starts about between 8:15 and 8:30 a.m. and it goes about half an hour or so. If you're available to join us, please do so. It's a good way to get together and remember the tragedy that happened just over 2 decades ago. And then following that on Saturday the 16th is the Latino Festival at the Hall of Records Annex parking lot from 12 to 7 p.m. Great food, great music, great dancing, great vendors, and the Human Relations Advisory Commission will be selling Fieldboro flags. If you don't have one, they'll have them there. You can actually purchase them and put up there. If you can't wait, because they're very exciting to have, there's flyers out there on the desk with a QR code to purchase, or you can contact the Human Relations Advisory Commission Chair, Karen Conger, at the email at the bottom of the flyer. Last but not least, thanks for coming out tonight, and a happy and healthy Rosh Hashanah. May your new year be sweet. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Rogers.
Thank you. Last week I had the opportunity to go to an event at Central State that celebrated a gentleman who had gone through their new cardiac care unit. That is, it's a new addition to Central State where if a cardiac patient comes in by ambulance, they can bypass the ER and go and get treatment right away, because in cardiac situations, time is of the essence. So this was a beautiful event. I got to meet the gentleman who finished the cardiac rehab program. Very, very nice gentleman. And I'm just really proud that we have something at this that provides this level of care in our community. And I was very glad I went to that event. I also want to clarify some things that are going around. First of all, we are not zombies. We are all very much alive. At least I think we all are. Well, maybe not Sharon, but the rest of us. Just kidding. We are mothers, we are daughters, we are sisters, we are, some of us are brothers. We are people, we are residents who care about this town, who make decisions that everyone may not agree with, but we believe will benefit this town. And that's why we sit up here today. It disturbs me that we cannot have discussions without calling names, without being disrespectful, without asking questions and getting answers, instead of assuming that the information you read on social media is correct, because most of the time it is not. So I just want to put it out there that I am always open and available to have a conversation with anyone regarding anything. If I don't have the answer, I will find the answer. That has always been my position, and it remains my position. But what I will not stand for is being called names or being accused of not loving this town or working for this town. Because I put too much time in to this position, away from my family, away from my new granddaughter, away from the things that I would enjoy doing. And yet still, people, just feel so comfortable when they're behind a keyboard calling names or accusing us of being money grabbers, which I have no interest in any of your money. I will go and work 4 jobs before I grab anybody's money. This town has no interest in grabbing anybody's money. We are making decisions that in the long term that we believe will benefit this town. That has always been our position. That has always been my position. I will fight anything that is going to unnecessarily waste money or raise taxes in this town. So I just wanted to put that out there. I'm sure I see it's being recorded in 2 places, so just so you know where I stand.
Thank you. Councilman Schnur?
Sure. It's pretty tough to follow that. I've been umpiring baseball since 1997 and high school since 2006. People don't go behind a keyboard. They just tell you right to your face they don't like what you just did. So I certainly can relate. I'm not on social media for a very good reason.
I have family across the country.
Yeah, I understand, but I'm not on it for a real good reason. It's just a cesspool of thought. There's no filter. One of the reasons why, quite frankly, I'm not running for re-election either this year after 17 years on the council. Anyway, I want to talk about parking for a second. It was mentioned about parking in a fire zone. I have never parked in a fire zone. I don't advocate anybody parking in a fire zone. I'm really perplexed at the question that came up here tonight, quite frankly. One of the things that I did last week is walk around all the parking lots. This was last Tuesday evening. And there are people who are illegally parking. And we're going to have parking enforcement officers out there. And these folks that think that they could just park in a fire zone and be there for 15 minutes while they go in and pick up food, they're in for a rude awakening. They're going to get a ticket. Okay? You can't do that. You can't park by a hydrant. You can't park in a fire zone. You just can't do that, period. And I think, like I said, these folks are going to be in for a rude awakening. It has nothing to do with a parking management plan. You're not supposed to be parking in a fire zone, period. And the only other thing I wanted to mention is, school's going to be starting up pretty soon, and this is a walking district, and everybody needs to be cognizant of that. As they're driving around town, watching out for the little kids playing. That's all I got.
Thank you. Councilman Schnur.
Can I make a quick comment on that? Because I'm the one who made that comment. I regret that I made it. I kind of get caught like a deer. But it is hard, the downshift. I mean, when we're talking about, I'm pretty sure she said, when you run into Federici's, I'm the first one that said, I've been doing that. We've been extending that courtesy for years. It's hard to downshift into, we're not going to do that any longer. So I just wanted to explain myself. As soon as that came out of my mouth, I was just like, well, I do tell the truth. All right. But by no means am I saying we should be, allowing people to park in a fire zone thing. But like I said, business has to be run, and over the years we have extended certain courtesies, and we work for a town to not do that. But I apologize for that comment publicly, but it's hard to downshift. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Schnur.
Yes, Margaret may have to wake me up. Maggie might have to wake me up. But I do have a difficulty understanding me or getting point across, but I do that face to face. I don't do it on social media. I also said that there were several reasons that I didn't do social media. One was the fact that I probably would be in jail because I couldn't hold my tongue or my fingers. And because for more than 4 decades I taught adolescents, and I've had a belly full of adolescent behavior. And I've also said quite often that one of the reasons that I was able to get through 4 decades of teaching 8th graders was because I never lost my sense of humor. And when people do, they think that I need to know some of the stuff that's being said online. And when people do tell me, I do, one of my levels of emotion is anger. But I do, when I get myself calmed down, have to laugh at the ignorance of some of the things that are said. So I don't go online because I would be wild all the time, I'm sure, either with laughter or with anger. So I just don't do it. Okay. I hope you'll come back another night. Maybe I'll have my 5-page statement to give. On the September 14th, oh, that's the 14th, that rang a bell when you said about the PB thing. On September 14th at 1:30 at Crossroads at St. Peter's, there is a fraud workshop being given by AAUW to give the latest scams, especially for senior citizens, but for everyone. So that's the 14th, 1:30 at Crossroads. There's also, being sponsored by the Mayor's Wellness Committee, there is a workshop on September 18th at Hudson Manor at 1:30 about, and I put some of the flyers out on the table, about are you at risk of falling? And they are going to have, this is for Freehold Borough residents only. It is free of charge. And 3 tests will be given to attendees to see if you are at risk, at a fall risk, or at the risk of losing your balance, because that does happen as we age. So that is on the 18th. And that, if you have, you may not feel that you're at the age where this might be affecting you, but if you have elderly neighbors, if you know people who are at risk for this would be a wonderful workshop for them to attend. Also, bus transportation is available for seniors Freehold Borough seniors by calling the number at the bottom of this flyer. I'll leave this up here if anybody wants to copy it, if they're all going out there. The county is sponsoring free shredding for county residents at the Township Municipal Building, Saturday, September 23rd, beginning at 9 o'clock. I recommend that you get up early. The line forms, and it's a long line. I want to offer my sincere condolences to our attorney for the loss of your mother-in-law, and to George Schnur, who also lost his mother-in-law. As I've often said, makes no difference how old your mother is or how ill your mother is. Your mother is your mother. And it's a devastating loss. So my sincere condolences. And let's leave on a happy note, because we're offering our congratulations to the newest grandfather among us, which is why he misspoke, because he's so exhausted that he can't get the thoughts out. Congratulations,
Thank you
Craig.
very
There's
much.
Thank you. Congratulations, Chief. You're gonna love it. I'm gonna be brief. I'm a little under the weather tonight, but I just want to thank this council, our administrator Steve Gallo, chief in the police department, Jeff downtown Freehold, for getting this parking management system implemented. We've discussed this for 5 or 6 years, and it's going to be a tremendous benefit to the residents and businesses in Freehold Borough. There's going to be some tweaks along the line, and we're going to make adjustments as we go. But the fact that it's up and running as of today was a great effort. So I just want to sincerely thank everyone in here for getting this done. Long term, you're going to see tremendous benefit out of this program. So that's all I wanted to say. I'll thank everyone for coming out tonight. There being no further business, I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Councilperson Benedetto?
Yes.
Jordan? Yes. Rice?
Yes.
Rogers?
Yes.
Stern?
Yes.
Shelton?
Meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
Mr. Gallo, here are the pictures. Actually, Mr. Smith.